Now then, I am August Radio Project, and this is your guide on how to busk through the winter.
Welcome aboard the Southern Service to Littlehampton.
Tip number 1.
The next station is Littlehampton.
Layer up. Put some layers on, man. As they say in the Nordic countries, there's no such thing as bad weather. Just the wrong clothes. Get yourself a nice big coat, some thick socks, put plenty on. You can always take a layer off. But if you haven't got it with you, you can't put one on.
Service, before leaving us, please make sure to take all your belongings with you. Have your tickets ready for the exit barriers.
If of course you're somebody that wears a costume or has a certain outfit, you could always look at getting some of those base layers that they wear like skiing. I know several buskers that do that to keep warm. Today is a balmy 7 degrees. So, not too bad. I didn't have to put too many layers on. I have had to get used to playing in this big coat over the winter months though. Changes my guitar playing style slightly because of its thick sleeves. No, if I'm honest, I'm more concerned about this grey cloud above my head than any cold. Which leads me to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to pick your days carefully. Take a look at what the weather's saying and maybe busk on the slightly warmer days. To tell the truth, here in the UK the winters don't really get that cold. The coldest days probably hover around 0 degrees, just below maybe. But for the most part it's somewhere between 5 and even 15. Much like us buskers having to look out for when it's raining, which I hope it doesn't today, you can have a look at the temperatures to see if it's gonna get super chilly. And if you wanted to, you could tactically avoid the days it's going, you know, sub-zero. Any of you folk that live in a lot colder climates will have to let me know what you do. I feel like this guide is going to be a much more significant to those in the UK or climates similar to the UK, because that's where all my busking experience comes from, at this point in time anyway.
Budding singer-songwriter. What's your sort of stuff, mate? What's your influence by?
I mean, my favourite band in the world are Green Day.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, but I play a bit of everything.
Right, fair enough. Do you like the Red Hot Chili Peppers as well?
I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Great band,
You're
yeah.
not going to do a wombling Merry Christmas?
No, that's a good shout though. Where are you from?
Oh, Manchester, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a great accent.
I've been down here 30 years and not lost my accent.
No, you still got it.
But they say if you've got a strong character and personality, you don't really lose your accent.
No, that's true.
Alright, mate.
One day. Nice one, man. No shortage of friendly people, even in the winter time. In fact, my theory is that people get more friendly in the winter time. Alright, tip number 3. Tip number 3 is all about where you pitch up. As already said, here in the UK it doesn't really get that cold. But if it is cold, it's usually because of the wind. You get like an Arctic blast of wind. So what you can do is you can tactically set up somewhere, choose a pitch that isn't directly in the wind, that has some shelter.
Friday I'm in love. Monday you shine for the Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart.
So avoid the seafront, avoid those like small alleys that act as wind funnels. Try and set up somewhere where you've got a bit of a barrier. Today, that isn't a concern. What is a concern is these rain clouds.
Friday never has its say, and I don't care if Monday's right. Tuesday, Wednesday, heart attack on Thursday. I'm never looking back. Friday,
If it was cold enough, it might snow, but it's not cold enough. I've yet to do a busk in the snow, to be fair. Hopefully that happens this year. That'd be cool. Atmospheric. About halfway through the set, and around about the time my hand goes numb. So tip number 4, is it 4? I think it's 4, is to get some fingerless gloves. I personally find them really hard to play with. I have a pair, I forgot them today. I find they're really good for like the beginning of the busk, like before you've really acclimatized to the actual temperature. Those first few songs I leave them on for, but the trouble with me is the way I play guitar, like it's quite dynamic, it's lots of movement. I find it really hard to play with the fingerless gloves on, and what I end up usually doing is I take the one on my left hand off so I can play, and then keep the one on my right hand, which just looks daft. But you know, you do what you can in the winter, don't you? So those of you that were suggesting some fingerless gloves on a previous video, I have got a pair, and I've used them many times, but I can't find them, if I'm honest. I do wonder who else buys fingerless gloves, like other than buskers. Who buys fingerless gloves? Is there like a surge of like demand this time of year from buskers, and then like for the rest of the year it just doesn't, no one buys any? Who else buys fingerless gloves? What's your... A little bit, not too bad. Yeah, but it's still a little... Yeah, as long as it doesn't rain, I'm alright. But it's... Yeah. It's so true. The rain's the worst. Rain and the wind. Tip number 5. Tip number 5. Bring a thermal flask with you and fill it full of hot tea. Easy. So in terms of flavours of tea, you can have whatever tea you want. You can even see it as like a little treat in between songs. My personal preference is lemon, honey and ginger, because that also has the healing properties for your throat, which is good for your voice. But anything will do, man. Definitely helps warm you up from the inside. Doesn't really do anything for your fingers if you're an instrument player. Although if you have like the right thermal flask, I reckon you could probably hold it. Maybe that would warm them up. Don't know. What's your personal preference for tea flavours? What do you go for? Put it in the comments. Maybe we'll have like a tea trying session on one of the busks or something. I don't know. Tip number 6, move around, generate some heat. They can say all they want about it, just tell me that I'm doubting sometimes. Kind of like the fundamental laws of thermodynamics. If you move about, you generate heat. I guess this is like easier for those that stand up and play. Easier for a guitar player probably in some ways. If you're like sat down when you're playing, you're probably going to get colder, aren't you? Yeah, use some energy. That's I mean, that's me when I perform. Kind of just happens naturally, but yeah, just jig around a bit more. Generate some heat, make some warmth happen.
Up in the bar, as we told each other stories about people at the bar. This is my kind of motive. Now as the rest of the world is yawning, we'll walk on by.
One thing you've got to be fully prepared for in the winter is the fact that the temperature does all sorts of funny things to the guitar. Probably other instruments too, but if you're a guitar player especially, because the wood is affected by temperature, it means I keep snapping strings like every busk at the moment.
Just in the worst of times, you identify opportunity. So walk that path to LA, they might say you breathe.
Tip number 8? I don't know, I've lost count. It's to move, again, but this time in a different way.
It's in the world of time, opportunity. So that part you're late, they might say you breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all good. Obviously, the longer you stand in one spot, the more likely you are to get cold. So it might be wise in the winter to worry less about doing the one-spot wonders and move around a little bit more. Take a break. You know, play for an hour here, an hour there. Sip a tea in between. Go and find a coffee shop, warm up. Do what you can to get by, you know. By the way, all these tips I'm giving you right now are just ones that I've used. In a moment I'll go through some others that other people have suggested that I've yet to try out. Look at these lovely Christmas lights, eh? I actually played here last year for the Littlehampton Christmas Fair. They had like a real Christmas tree last year, so I'm guessing that this year they've gone for the non-real one. Probably because of environmental reasons. It's really not too cold today. I would have waited to film this video on a colder day, but I felt like it was more important to make it, get it out there before this winter really kicks in. Because the real cold months, like from what I found, are like January, February, March. December is kind of manageable. Right, let's get to the train station and I'll go through my final point on how to survive the winter according to me. And then I'll go through some other points where other people have suggested. Okay, last tip from my experience, and then I'll go through some others that other people have suggested. The last tip I've got for you, and take this with a pinch of salt, but in the words of Chopper Reed, harden the f*** up.
Harden the f*** up, Anthony.
I mean this in the most polite way possible, and I understand that there are people who have conditions that mean that they can't harden the f***. If you love doing something so much, then you will find a way of doing it. regardless of how cold it is, especially, you know, the coldest it gets here in the UK, it doesn't get unfathomably cold. I think the human body is this incredible machine, and if you're lucky enough to have a healthy one, you'll find you can do incredible things when you put your mind to it. And busking on a cold day is one of them. I find that, like, once I'm out and I do 2 or 3 songs, even if it's like horribly cold, like it was that day I was playing in Cambridge a few weeks ago, I just acclimatise. My body gets used to it. And sure, I have to put in some other tactics like the ones we've gone through today, but I find I can do it. And I think there's something in that. When you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, you realize you can do it. And then if you repeat putting yourself into that uncomfortable position again and again and again, you eventually realize that you're fine and you can do it and there's no problem. That's what you've got to do when it comes to being a busker in the winter, especially if you're looking at it as a full-time sort of way of making an income whilst you're building up your music career or whatever it is you're trying to do. I'm saying this in good humor, but you just got to harden up, get out there, make David Goggins proud. Stay hard. Like, your hand's gonna hurt at points, you're gonna feel tingly, your toes gonna get cold, but dang man, it's so worth it. I would take it any day over being in some office or, you know, some job that I didn't vibe with at all. And I'm lucky and I'm grateful because I have a healthy physical body that allows me to go out. All I'm saying is, if you're passionate about this and it is definitely your true calling, you will find a way and you won't make an excuse. I've got ages till my train. I could have definitely played, talking about being lazy, I could have definitely played a spot 2 there. And I did think about it, because the last time I was in Littlehampton, that's what I did, and I managed a 3-figure day. Today, I made £88.19p, so I'm pretty happy with that. Like, that's a good amount of donations for just shy of 4 hours playing. Like, that's awesome. But I could have done it. Now I pay the price because I've got to wait 30-40 minutes for my train. 40 minutes for my train. Oh no, 30. Oh, it's not so bad. And the sun's gonna shine on me. Look at that. Oh, so much to be grateful for. All right, on the train I'll go through some other suggestions that have come from comments from you guys. So I just looked at the weather app, and although it says 7 degrees, it says with the wind chill it's 3 degrees. So that gives you a good idea of how cold it actually is. Okay, let's go through some of these suggestions that you lot had. So one person said you could get those hand warmers, stick them in your pockets, and then like every now and then, if you needed to warm your hands up, you could just stick your hands in your pockets with the hand warmers in and warm your hands up. It's a pretty good shout. Someone said you could do the same with like a USB powered heater. It's a pretty good idea, and then if it ran out of charge, you could use your portable charger. Someone said you could use like a portable gas powered heater, and then perhaps take a propane tank to power it, which is a wonderful suggestion in theory, but I think it's probably really impractical. One, because you've got to carry all of that, and two, probably poses like a health and safety risk. I'm not sure you'd be able to take the propane tank on the train either. A lot of people suggesting gloves, obviously. It's pretty good. So there, you know, plenty of things you could do to ease off the cold. But like I said earlier, I think it's just about getting out there. Oh, there you go. We're back in Hove. A nice day in Littlehampton. And that is it for my guide on how to survive the winter. Woo! I hope you find something in this video. Feel free to drop a comment below if you have any advice of your own for the fellow buskers that will watch this video. And yeah, I appreciate you for being here, for watching. I think this video is going up on Christmas Day as well, so if you're watching it on the day I've released it, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays if you're not celebrating Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, And if you like the video, then be sure to hit like. If you're new around here, then press subscribe. True fans can turn the notifications on. And if you feel like giving me an online donation, then the super thanks button is there. If you have a bit more spare cash, then I have a Patreon where I release exclusive stuff. The link is in the description. Also, I released a music video not too long ago for my song Crossroads. Go and check it out. Link is also in the description. For all the buskers that are gonna persist through the winter, good on yous, good luck out there. I hope some of these tips help you out. I am August Radio Project. I make videos, they come out every Monday. Until next week, you can watch the one that comes up on the screen, and I will see you very soon. Peace, love, happiness.